Any guesses or you guess on camera?
I didn't see it. It was so quick. I couldn't like
So
piece
it
it
looks like it's
together.
either a finger, but I think it's a snap, and
Thanos?
then it's like I sent it to you guys, Brett. You have it too now. And then a deer, I think that is like a deer or a buck, right?
Mhm.
Snap and buck, snap and deer, and then leaves that we've already kind of established that arrow is like to go to or then to. Then it looks like is that like a cop?
Yeah, it looks like a
Officer.
copper and earth.
Officer?
Yeah, maybe
Someone who
office.
turns into an officer who farms nuts. Like
Well,
the
Jimmy Carter farms nuts. So I mean, we already kind of thought so. Officer, and then what would the question mark be?
doesn't it mean who?
Yeah.
That's it, dude. Officer who
Because-
grows nuts. Yeah, I mean, we've thought it was Jimmy Carter already, so I think that just, yeah, that's
I
good.
mean, having that already in my head, that's kind of like where I was
Yeah.
going.
What is do we know what the finger is?
It looks like a snap or a press.
I
I
almost
mean,
looks
I
like
was
he's
thinking,
doing this. Like it's doing this. Like come
yeah.
or
Like,
flick.
I thought it was snap.
See, I think if it was snap, it would be where the thumb and the like the lines would be over there.
Command and buck. Commandeer. Commandeer who officered.
Commander?
Commander,
Yeah.
commander and chief.
Chief. Yeah.
Commander in chief,
Who
commander in
harvests
chief
nuts. So it's pretty yeah, it's
who
the best.
farms nuts. Good job, gang. Welcome back to the reality, guys. I'm your host, Billy Blinks, joined as always by my co-host Brian
What's going on, everybody?
and Brett.
What's up?
We're here to talk our favorite Monday night show right now, Claim to Fame, season 2, episode 4, Flirting with Disaster. Kind of a little tongue-in-cheek with what the ultimate decision was made at the end of the episode on who to send in and who to be the guesser. This is a little cheeky nod at Cole and Shane, who seem to have a pretty flirtatious and good friendship. Maybe if you're more on the Cole side, you felt like maybe you were kind of being a little bit more used and kind of brought along, which if I were him, I wouldn't have felt safe with her anytime. So I don't really fault him, but we definitely want to start with the lead here. Cole did end up having to be the guesser. It was going to be between Cole and Hugo, right?
Yep.
And it ends up being Cole the guesser. We thought, based on the episode was going, that he was going to pick the race
Carson.
car driver, right? So that's Carson.
Carson. Yeah.
Now there, I thought maybe Kevin Harvick last week. Jeff Gordon would make more sense just because it's way more mainstream. So I think that might be a pretty good guess. However, decides to go with the sure thing Shane, who we've known literally since the end of week 1 was Eddie Murphy, and was correct. Ends up being Shane Murphy, Eddie Murphy's daughter. Eddie sent out the quick shout out. So Jen, just again, kind of reiterate, really good celebrities so far this season, guys. And I really do honestly agree with it. He did that. It was the low hanging fruit. You have to survive in advance. So Brian, what did you think of the decision? And then Brett.
No, he definitely did the right thing. And any form of doubt that you have, you need to go with the one that you know 100%.
Mhm.
And it was a good shocking moment. I was like, whoa, when he did it. I was very surprised. I thought he was
Okay.
going to cave and roll over and pick Carson, but I thought it was good for the show.
Yeah, I mean, well, this episode, I guess, is when they said that he basically likes her or has a crush on her, which is the first time they've shown that. I thought he had a crush on Olivia or something because he's always with her the previous episodes. But then the fact that they voted him in because like, oh, he's not going to take out Shane, and then he backstabbed her anyway. I love it. And I love that, whether or not Carson was lying or not lying, but she's like, oh, Jeff Gordon, no, they're wrong. I love that she like put that doubt in the game, and now everyone's like second guessing it.
I really want it to be Jeff Gordon because I want that to be a really good gameplay thing that she pulls that off. I think it's really smart. And this show does a great job with showing us things after the fact, which I really like. Like after he made the choice and did the elimination, it showed him talking to people before just about that, Brett. Like, oh, was she playing a game? And then when he eliminates her, it shows Monet being like, bad call, because we've talked about it. We know who you are. And it showed the conversation she had with Shane. And it looks like they know who he is, right? So I like that they don't show all of that right away. It does add a nice dramatics. I'm always looking forward to kind of that last flashback of the episode. They've done every episode this season because it's like basically like a drama tease and a regular TV show for the next week. Like, oh my God, we know something that the other characters don't, which I like. I like how they're doing that as opposed to just telling us identities like last year.
Yeah. Do we think I kind of think he might be related to Alicia Keys
I think that's what they're trying to say.
Yeah.
I
with the
don't.
piano.
I'm not fully in on their clues, nor am I in on the Jeff Gordon clues. I don't know. Like,
Yeah, there's another one I thought
The Budweiser thing's a stretch, right? Because his car wasn't the Budweiser car. It was always like, it wasn't a Budweiser.
I thought it was
DuPont.
I thought was it Wonder Bread?
No, that
no idea.
isn't Wonder Bread. Not like
I just
I
feel
thought
like
he had a red, white, and blue green car.
no,
Turning-
he has DuPont as his main one. He's 24 and it's DuPont on the hood. So I think that was his number one. Jimmy Johnson is like Lowe's or was Lowe's. They're all retired now. And then I said I looked up the guy Harvick last year was number 4, but the 2 is tough for me. I don't know if that means a 2. I thought that was a bit of a stretch. Like
Yeah,
that's where I thought they're wrong.
there's a couple guys that they could be because there's like you said, I think last week, Bill. Like there's like Busch Light. There's a couple beers that it's not just Budweiser. There's a lot of other companies that are in NASCAR, so it could be like 3 or 4 people.
Kevin Harvick is the number 4 car. That's what I said last week. And he is the Busch Light car. Like his car says like Busch Light on the front, on the side. It says like I looked it up last week. It says like Busch, like really long. Like so, like if they're paying for 90% of that car, you know what I mean? So that
the race car driver, though, I feel like her clues sort of like could apply to several. And how are
that's what I mean? Like there's a lot of beer company sponsors, so like I think she's in a good spot, especially if Jeff Gordon, she is not related to Jeff Gordon, she can even live another week if someone wants to test the waters.
Right.
I thought Dale Earnhardt. Am I crazy? I thought Dale Earnhardt Jr. had like a red car that said Bud.
He might have at one point. I think that they don't always have the same stuff.
Yeah, I'm almost positive. So again,
I don't watch this. I don't watch.
We're not going to look it up, but I know he had a red car, so like that makes sense for Bud, right? But like the beers doesn't have to be Budweiser. Yeah, I like this one.
Yeah, I think
it hammers.
It's a good move. I agree with Brett. It was like it was a really cool gameplay move that I want to see how it turns out.
I guess her only other option would have been just to not say anything to Chris, but then everyone's thinking it anyways. So I don't know.
But I think the doubt is nice. It's just like it's like a little mini shield that people need to take the risk, even if it is actually Jeff Gordon.
What do we think about Chris taking Hugo as his winning identity? I was pretty surprised because they're allies to an extent, but what did you guys think about his choice?
Well, people are a little worried about him, right?
If you get his clue and he's your ally and you guys go to the end, you have his clue. He doesn't have your clue. You can take him out.
Right.
No, it's definitely a fair. I was just almost so convinced that he was going to pull like Monet's or, you know what I mean? Like somebody else's that maybe are just a little bit more in direct competition with him. You saw in our cold open and stuff, we kind of talked through it ourselves. We said this last week. We're not saying spoilers here, but we're like 100% positive it's Jimmy Carter now, based off of deciphering the clue. The nut farmer and commander in chief, like that, boom, done. So he definitely didn't get it though. He definitely doesn't know who it is right now. That'll be really and it looks like from the preview he's not going to show anybody. So
yeah, people are annoyed about it, which I don't get. Like it's his clue.
Yeah, well, he better figure it out then.
Jimmy Carter was already floating around as an idea, right? Because I mean, if someone had thrown that out, I probably would have picked up on his clue. But like seeing the crazy people at the end, I mean, I just assumed nuts, so it fit.
Right. No, and Buzz Aldrin, I think, was floating around. Somebody said that today.
Well, that's who he was thinking it was before he put the clue. So we'll see.
Really, only other big things of note that I want to talk about. Gabriel said that his. Did he say that his claim to fame is Kel or Keenan? Like he mentioned Nick Cannon in Good Burger.
I was thinking. Well, he also said his relative was on Nickelodeon, so Nick Cannon could still be on Nickelodeon during that time, and we just might not know it.
But he also said the "Welcome to Good Burger" line. So I'm like,
I don't remember.
He had a cameo. I don't know.
Which means that those clues stretch. If he was in Good Burger as like just a random person, or if he's on Nickelodeon, which is the same as Good Burger, like those clues suck. Like Cole said he had Swiss cheese or something. I have no idea what that means. I know who JR is. None of the clues made sense to me. So
yeah.
The tire made the most sense, I guess.
Right.
Tire. Oh my god, the tire is such like a freaking getaway. Like,
So yeah, you got to know like the major clip for that, but
all right, yeah. So besides that, I think really like I did like besides kind of that gameplay from okay, we guess with the challenge. Challenge was kind of stupid. I didn't like the challenge. I thought maybe smaller items would have made sense in the blindfold thing, a little bit more competitive. They put them out in a big field. They probably didn't even get to half of them. 5 minutes wasn't enough time.
yeah, it definitely wasn't because it should have been like 15, honestly.
They should have had enough
Long
time to get to every clue because
Yeah,
like if you got lucky enough, or if producers put your clues in the back half, no one even got to them.
right. That's a good point.
I'm getting like annoyed when I keep thinking about like the Nick Cannon stuff. Like, did they maybe he's in like the sequel they're doing or something? You know what I mean? Like,
They're doing a Good Burger sequel.
yeah, they're doing well, Nick Cannon was on all that.
That's what I was thinking. All that is the connection from Keenan
And
and
Good
Kel.
Burger was an
Good
all
Burger?
that skit first.
Okay.
That's
Okay,
where
so
Good Burger
that's
came
maybe
from.
he was on that.
So maybe there was that's a real stretch. I mean, the drum
Yeah.
line is the thumb. It's funny that like he's not commenting on like the drums or like any of that stuff yet, but he's like, oh my god, the burger is definitely for me. But
Right.
maybe it isn't even for him. That could be the best part. The
Yeah,
burger
'cause
may
they're
not
just
even be his
lying.
clue.
They're doing mega lies. Yeah. I
No,
don't
not
know.
even mega lies. He might just be dumb and think that that's what's applying to him because he knows about the Good Burger
It's like
thing.
such a deep cut.
Like he's like, oh my god, it's like it could be like literally someone's grandfather's Dave Thomas. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah,
That would be a great one. Like we got
that'd be
Wendy.
sick. That'd be sick.
Cheeseburger Eddie, who's played by Terry Crews in The Longest Yard. Boom.
That's a good
Or
character.
cheeseburger, yeah.
That's a great character, Paul.
I
Yeah,
was just thinking, what if Tom Hanks's girl was still in the competition and her statue is a bench, so they all got to take a break?
oh my,
Funny.
it would have been a bench. Like what else? It could have been. Well, the shrimp could have. The shrimp was
Yeah, the
probably
shrimp could have
hers.
applied.
The shrimp was.
Oh.
So they still had like the 10
Okay, yeah.
statues or whatever, right? So
So do you think that they had like just throwaway clues from people eliminated?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
Let's see
So
who
the
else the
saw
shrimp
was
would have
that.
been for?
I saw
Okay.
Saturn in there too, so maybe that makes sense.
Okay.
Okay. Yep.
Cool.
Cool. Yeah, I think overall good episode. I'm looking forward to next week. I want to see what happens with Chris and if the whole house turns on because God forbid someone wants to keep one of their own secrets to themselves in a reality TV show. So hopefully our boy doesn't get massacred for that. Again, pretty sure that we talked last week that he's an Osmond, but we still haven't gotten a confirmation yet. There really wasn't anything else further about his identity this week. So check out the other reviews we have going on this week. We're going to have the other half of ABC Monday Night, which will be the Bachelorette week 4. We also will have the Below Deck finale. I mean, Below Deck reunion parts 1 and 2. Brian, I don't know if we're going to do one for each or we're just going to review it as a whole. Probably just ends up as a whole tomorrow night, right? Probably makes the most sense.
Probably. Man, we're busier than I thought.
Yeah, I know. We're going to drown. Tomorrow night, speaking of which, is the season premiere of Love Island USA on Peacock. We also will be covering what else we got going on this week, Brian?
We're gonna tap 90 Day Fiance season 5 the other way. Stars on Mars will probably do on TikTok and
Hump Day Wednesday. So the
Yeah,
Big
Hump
D
Day
and
Wednesday.
Temptation Island will obviously be back alone, and the Ultimate Fighter will be back this week for the final match of the first round, Brett. Right?
We got to do this one.
Final, Brett. Well, if here's your review in 5 seconds, more of the same for Connor's team, except you. The worst is with that show too, Brett. You could tell by the end when there's like 5 minutes left and the fight hasn't started. You're like, somebody's going out in 6 seconds.
Don't get knocked out.
So that's what happened. Check out our TikTok as well. We're doing a lot of different reality TV news of the day. We picked up our pace. Brian's back to reviewing Love Island UK. And also we had the season premiere of the reboot of The Real Housewives of New York City. That's also there on the channel. So a lot of stuff picking up all of a sudden here in the summer, guys. So we appreciate the continued support. Make sure to like, sharing with your friends, and telling them to subscribe so we can grow into the fall. But for myself, Brian, and Brett, till next time, thank you. Peace.